And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the season debut of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College athletics. We have an exciting show on tap this evening. We'll have guests from men's and women's soccer as well as football, and really glad you're able to join us as our audience for Tornado Talk. We're here most Monday nights at 7 p.m., and it's a audience participation show. So if you have a comment or question for one of our guests or for the Tornadoes, feel free to leave it in the Facebook Live or YouTube chat section. We'll do our best to get to it during the show. Well, we do want to thank our sponsors of the program, Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, eGolf Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Pepsi, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Appreciate our sponsors of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Well, an exciting week of Brevard College athletics coming right up this week. The start of regular seasons across all the fall sports. It starts with this Thursday, September 2nd, 4 p.m. The reserves men's soccer team will host Gardner Webb at Ives Lamel Family Field. Volleyball is then going to host Emory and Henry at the Bosch. That's at 6 p.m. Then 7 p.m. men's soccer versus Carolina University at Ives Lamel Family Field. That's a 7 p.m. start. Women's soccer, by the way, starts its season on the road in Emory, Virginia on Thursday night. Friday, volleyball's at Emory in Atlanta, Georgia. Cross country is in Greenville, South Carolina for a night race. Saturday, September 4th, all day long, mountain biking will be in action at Ride Canuga. That's up in the Hendersonville, Flat Rock area. Volleyball will continue their action at the Emory Classic in Atlanta. Football season opener, noon Saturday at Shorter University in Rome, Georgia. 1 p.m. Saturday, home event for the men's and women's tennis programs at the McCoy Tennis Complex. That's versus Johnson University. 4 p.m. on Saturday, men's soccer versus Methodist at Ives Lamel Family Field. And 6:30 p.m. Saturday, women's soccer, their home opener versus Carolina University at Ives Lamel Family Field. And then Sunday, mountain biking on the campus of Brevard College. It's going to be a special event. We'll be bringing you a broadcast on Sunday starting at 10 a.m. of all the mountain biking action at Brevard College. And for BC home events this fall, we just released today updated spectator information along with football ticketing and parking policies. Feel free to check those out at bctornadoes.com. So we mentioned women's soccer, and they open on Thursday night in Emory, Virginia, and then on Saturday at home versus Carolina University at Ives Lamel Family Field. And very pleased to invite into the show our first guest of the evening, head women's soccer coach Juan Mascaro. Coach Mascaro, thank you for joining the program.
Thank you for having us, Phil. Appreciate it.
Well, very exciting time of year, Coach, without a doubt, and a lot going on around Brevard College. But I would like to start with the following. On Friday, there was a special ribbon-cutting event at the new Athletics Fieldhouse. 6 sports are directly benefiting from the Fieldhouse. It's certainly a resource for all of Brevard College, without a doubt. And you were a big part of that ribbon cutting. You're also, in addition to being the women's soccer coach, VP for Finance and Operations and CFO at Brevard College. So, Coach, if we can kind of go that direction to start tonight, and if you could inform folks just how meaningful that event was and what the Fieldhouse means to these students.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. I think it's one of those moments in Brevard College that you feel you actually feel really proud to be part of. Finishing the Fieldhouse was one of those instances in which you can say we did it, and it's close to a small miracle in the environment we're in. Having started the project in the middle of a global pandemic. With prices, building prices going up, and having lack of workers to be able to finish the job, but we were able to finish it on time, and we have a lot of student athletes, over probably 200 plus student athletes are benefiting from this, and I think it's a really state-of-the-art facility that brings a lot to our athletic programs, and I think that all our kids are very excited and very proud to be a part of.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and appreciate your leadership, Juan, in that initiative, and certainly for years to come, that's going to be a huge resource for the Tornadoes.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Well, turning the page to women's soccer, we mentioned, the opener this Thursday in Emory, Virginia, then the home opener on Saturday. There was a preseason where you got a couple of exhibitions in at Mars
Yep.
Hill, and then this past weekend versus Southern Wesleyan, a 2-0 win over Southern Wesleyan, goals by Emma White and Tay Brown. Coach, how has the preseason gone?
I think it's going really well. I think it's. The kids are back and they're back and with all eagerness to do well. I think we had a great season last year, and I think most of them understand what it takes to be able to be successful and be able to win. You always have a group of about 10 newcomers that have never played a college game before in their lives. So that's the part that we have to get together. Have to get those new players in and get him ready to play collegiately pretty quickly, because our preseason is it's less than 2 weeks. We had like 4 or 5 days of 2-a-days, and now we're back to 1 a day for the last couple of days. So it's getting them to really understand what it takes, and I think the game against Southern Wesleyan really helped us. I think some of the players did really well. And as a team, I think the second half was a lot better. I think the first half we were okay. But the second half, I think we really connected a lot better and played more of as a team. But, it's hard because every time you're putting new players in and you have a little bit of new tactics going on and new ways of defending, new ways of attacking, it's always going to take a few games to flow.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, Coach. And then in terms of this weekend, can you preview it a little bit? Season starts with a road trip up to Virginia.
Yeah, and that's good. That's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game. I think Emory and Henry is going to be a tough opponent. As you know, they're making that transition to Division II, so they're gonna be a tough opponent for sure. But we are. Thankfully, I think this is the first year that we are really, I can say that we're really deep in most of the areas. So in the back, we're really deep. In the midfield, we're deep. And up top, we're really deep. So that brings a lot to the table, because in the past, we've been probably, 14, 15 deep. I think now we're 19 to 22 deep. So we have a lot of players that can go in and help us. And that really helps win soccer games, because it's your last 20 minutes where fitness is a key factor. If you can bring in fresh legs and the level stays the same, you give yourself a really good chance. But this first game is going to be it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a tough game. But I think the ladies are ready for it. And we had a great practice today. It was a hard, intense practice, and they were very excited about it. So I think we're excited to get going. And then Saturday is going to be another tough opponent. I think if you look at our schedule, there's not an easy game out there. All the games. I told the team, every game we're going to have to fight to win. And but we understand that, and I think we're putting all the pieces together to make that happen.
Coach, a successful season last year, obviously an unusual season, playing an abbreviated season in the spring, but a trip to the USA South Conference postseason, and also just dominance, especially on the defensive side of things. 6 of the 9 matches resulted in shutouts. Can you talk a little bit about that success, carrying over to this year?
Yes. I think that, in the back, we're really solid. And we have everybody returning in the back, our 2 center backs, Emma White and Abbie Worsencroft. They're solid back there. And then you have Autumn Wright and Lena Hatter. We have Channing Barker, a new player coming in from Catawba College. So we have some kids back there, and we've been really solid. And I think as a team, we understand that defensively we have to get it done in order to keep ourselves, give ourselves a chance to be successful. And if we can hold them to 0 goals, we only need 1 to get the win. So I think we're working hard on that. We're working hard defensively. on the defensive side of the ball, and it's just getting all the pieces together. But I think it's coming together really well.
Yeah, that defensive prowess last year in particular,
Yeah.
just one match, was there more than one goal allowed?
Yes, and having having Rebecca Rojas back there also, it's really nice.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Coach, you've been around this program now for a while, and I know you have been building a culture. And
Yep.
certainly, the field house is a great resource. We talked about that. We talked about many of the returners coming back. But as far as big picture goes, the culture of BC women's soccer and what makes it so attractive to prospective student athletes.
Well, I think that we try to offer the full package, which is, in my opinion, our philosophy is pretty straightforward. Is the number one thing we want to accomplish is make sure that all our student athletes get a college degree. So getting them through school and helping them achieve their academic goals is our number one priority. And we work really hard at it. I think as a team, we do really well. We have one of the best team GPAs. Being a team of about 30 plus young ladies, it is kind of hard, but we're above a 3.5 GPA. So that's the number one goal for us. Then athletically, the goal is simple: is be above 500. And I think if you give yourself that goal of having a winning season every single year, in some years you're gonna win more. You're gonna win a conference championship. You're gonna go far. Some years you're not. But as long as you always have a winning season, so that's the goal for us, having a winning season. And then socially we have to be. We have a good group of kids. They understand that we have to be socially responsible, and we are good citizens, and we try to go out there and help the community, and not only the Brevard community, but the overall community in Transylvania County. So that's the full package that we offer, and that's our kind of a culture. And then the inside culture is we got to help each other. It's a team sport. One person is not going to make us or break us, and we got to understand that. And I think the young ladies understand that. At the end of the day, it says Brevard College on the scoreboard. The scoreboard has no names but Brevard College, and we have to help each other out, be better every single day, and we strive to just get a little bit better every single day, and move and always keep moving forward. And you learn a lot from losses. Losing is part of the game, and as long as we learn from it and we move on from those losses, I think we give ourselves a chance.
Very good. Well, Coach Juan Mascaro, leader of the Brevard College women's soccer program. Coach, thanks for being on the show. We're going to invite in a couple of your student athletes into the program here, as Alyssa Hetherington and also Abbie Worsencroft both joining the program here. Coach Mascaro, before we let you go, can you let NATO Nation know a little bit about these two outstanding student athletes?
Oh, great student athletes. Alyssa's a senior. She's a team captain, and she works extremely hard. Just a good overall young lady. And Abbie, same thing. I mean, she's a sophomore. Had a great year last year, and just a great student. Great kid. Those are two of our good kids for sure.
Very good. Well, thanks again, Coach, for joining the program. Best of luck on Thursday night at Emory and Henry, and we'll see you at Ives Lamel Family Field on Saturday for the home opener.
Sounds good, Phil. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
All right. That's head women's soccer coach Juan Mascaro. And as Coach Mascaro was able to preview for us, we have our next two guests, two women's soccer student athletes. Abbie Worsencroft, the sophomore defender from West Union, South Carolina, majoring in exercise science, and Alyssa Hetherington, the senior midfielder from Marietta, Georgia, majoring in biology. Abbie and Alyssa, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Well, Abbie, let's start with you. USA South Conference Women's Soccer All-West Division second team performer last year, and also United Soccer Coaches Player Award of Distinction. So congratulations on that. And you were a big part of that defense. I don't know if you heard us talking with Coach about the defense, but last year you guys were lights out, 6 shutouts. And I know you guys have that same mentality this year. talk about the mentality of the defense and what you guys try to accomplish back there.
Well, with our defense, like you said, we have a very strong back line. And basically, it's not let them get past us. We hold it down. We cover for each other, get back behind. And I think with having a lot of returning and then adding Channing in, I know Coach had talked about her. We are going to have a very strong back line. And it's really nice to not be a freshman this year. And I've played with Emma and I've played with Autumn, and we know how to work with each other. So while I think we were really good last year, I think we have a big advantage coming in, and we can start at the same level that we ended with.
No doubt. And Alyssa, that defensive mentality translates to all 11 players on the field. So even if you're playing up front, you have to have defense on your mind, correct?
Yes, as a midfield/forward, I know that having them behind my back and like saving it when I do a little oopsie or something, it's the best feeling to just turn around and like, okay, I have a solid brick wall behind me.
Yeah, no doubt. And all the way back to that goalkeeper, Rebecca Rojas, no doubt you guys are tough top to bottom on the defensive side. Well, Alyssa, USA South academic all-conference performer, and you also participated formally in last week's ribbon cutting of the new athletics field house. How was that experience to kind of be part of that, formal gathering, board of trustees members, President David Joyce, you name it, and officially cutting the ribbon for the new field house?
I couldn't even believe I was a part of it. I felt like I was part of history in the making. And just to be around such a beautiful facility, if you haven't been in there, you have to go in and just check out all the hard work that's been put into it. And even like just experiencing it, as I've never had a facility like that. It's just amazing.
Yeah, go ahead, Alyssa.
To be a part with all the people that put it together, it's one of those memories that I'm going to look back on like, oh, I was a part of that. That was so fun.
No doubt. Well, appreciate your, formal participation in that. And Abbie, you and the rest of your teammates get to benefit from the new field house. You guys have been settled in there for a little while now in the women's soccer locker room. For somebody who might be just checking out the Tornadoes and maybe even a prospective student athlete, from a high school or whatnot, how would you describe the field house and also your locker room space?
Well, our locker room is the nicest locker room I've ever been in. And I went to a pretty nice high school. They take really good care of us. We also have to keep it very clean, but we have really nice facilities. And being a student athlete here for a year and visiting other schools, I can definitely say that our school cares a lot about their athletics and puts a lot of time, money, and effort into our facilities. And so we have some of the nicest facilities I've seen. So if you're looking to come here, we have nice facilities, great turf field, beautiful new field house.
And Abbie, can you talk a little bit about what it's just like to be a member of this women's soccer team? We talked to your coach a little bit about it, the team culture and how you all get along so well.
Oh, well, I love my teammates. It works so well because we have a lot of great individuals that we play soccer with. That's one of the reasons I wanted to come here. Whenever you come and you meet this team, they're just very interesting, funny, welcoming group of people. That's what I think our culture is. That's why I came here, because everyone, they'll welcome you in. You'll have a great time while you're with them and win some soccer games.
And Alyssa, I see you nodding your head, and as a senior, I'm sure you can add to that answer.
Definitely. It's a mixing pot, just a bunch of different people, different backgrounds, and it's nice over the years, months, weeks. You get to know a bunch of great people that years down the road you're going to look back on and you're like, hey, how you doing? Just call them up kind of thing. But yeah.
Very good. Alyssa, let's get back onto the soccer field for a moment. The season opener is just a few days away here, and then you'll be at home in front of the home audience on Saturday. How do you feel the preseason's been going? Are you guys ready for the start of the year?
We are definitely ready. I feel like we've all been putting in the work and effort, and our chemistry, which we haven't always had this year, has grown exponentially. And just to see everyone care about each other, keep each other accountable, and just the growth that we've experienced, at least from my freshman year to here, or even last year to here, it's just, I'm so excited to see what this team can bring to this game and then the rest of the season.
Abbie, I'm sure you're excited as well to get going in earnest.
No, I'm very excited. I think we were really successful last year, and with the freshmen that are coming in, we have a lot of pieces that are going to, I think, bring us to a higher level, which I'm just excited to get out there and play because I know we made it to the tournament last year, but I want us to go even farther. And I think we have the skill in this group. We just have to execute.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just a couple more for you two. Abbie, a major in exercise science. Have you thought a little bit about, what you may want to do ultimately with your degree?
Yeah, I want to do physical therapy. So from Brevard, I would have to go and get my doctorate at another school. And that's what I've wanted to do for a long time. I want to help people that are injured to get back to their lives.
Very good. And Alyssa, majoring in biology. Can you tell us more?
Possibly in the conservation area. I've always been attracted to animals and plants. And so kind of like Steve Irwin. That's my goal, to be like Steve Irwin.
Very cool. Well, before I let you go, always want to give student athletes the opportunity to give any shout outs or thank yous to anybody who may have helped you along the way or who may be tuned into this program, either live or on replay. Alyssa, the senior, we'll start with you. Shout outs or thank yous?
I'm going to give a big thank you and shout out to my parents, my mom and my dad, because they're here at every game, bringing stuff to me and the teammates. I guess my sister too, because she's part of the fam. And I guess my boyfriend Adam, because he's at every game and every practice cheering our team on. They're good for him.
And by the way, if you watch women's soccer on the YouTube channel, you can catch Adam Spencer on the play-by-play for the majority of those matches. So be sure to tune in if you can't make it in person at Isle Lamel Family Field. Abbie, same opportunity for you. Shout-outs or thank yous?
Yeah, I want to thank my family, my mom, dad, my sister. They make it to as many games as they possibly can. And thank you just for supporting me all these years and taking me to so many soccer practices, camps, tournaments, all that. And then I also want to thank my boyfriend for coming to as much as he can and for being there for me.
Very good. Well, Abbie Worsencroft and Alyssa Hetherington, two student athletes for the Brevard College women's soccer team. They will be in action this week. The opener at Emory and Henry on Thursday night in Emory, Virginia. And then Saturday, come on out, 6:30 p.m., women's soccer versus Carolina University at Ives Lamel Family Field. Ladies, thank you for joining the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. Well, looking forward to women's soccer, and we're going to quickly turn the page here to football as the Brevard College Tornado football team will open its season this weekend as well. And joined now by head coach Bill Khayat. Coach Khayat, thanks for joining the show.
Appreciate you having me, Phil.
Well, Coach, season opener for the fall 2021 season. This thing's come up as quickly as you could ever imagine after a spring season last year, a quick off season, and we are right back at it. 12 p.m. at Shorter University in Rome, Georgia. Coach, can you start with that as far as what this off season, unlike any other, has been like?
Well, to play your last football game in early April, that's only a few months away from reporting for training camp. So it was really a matter of these players doing the proper preparation during the summertime to be prepared this fall to be able to practice and have their bodies fully recovered. So it was something new for all of the players, and obviously for us as a coaching staff as well, to have the recruits ready to go, to have the former roster cleared, shuffled out, and then retooled, reworked, revamped, and figure out how all the pieces go together to be ready for when the players came in on the 10th of August.
Yeah, the preparation has been fast and furious, and that included, a mock game this past weekend and also a scrimmage the weekend before at Swanee. Can you tell us a little bit about what was accomplished at those two events?
Okay, well, starting with the scrimmage that took place first, that was in Swanee. We were supposed to actually play them in the spring. Things didn't work out for a game, so the two of us got together as head coaches and made a decision to go ahead and have a scrimmage in the fall. And I do want to say thank you to Jack Parker, who made a donation, a very generous donation to the program to allow us to get an extra bus to be able to make the trip out. So we were able to take a record roster of about 142 players out to Swanee, Tennessee for a scrimmage, because really we need to take a look at everybody. We had a great luxury last fall of not playing games and be able to take a look at all the newcomers, whether they're transfers or true freshmen, and get an idea of what they could do. Well, in just a few short days, training camp's over. So we really wanted to be able to evaluate players in a game situation. And typically you take about 70 players on the road. So it was double that. And we were able to get everybody in and see what they could do in a game setting. So that was really great for the newcomers and the young guys, but also to get the rust off. Okay, so I mean, I was telling them about how they looked, and just a nice tool that you've left out in the rain that has rusted over time. And heck, that's an axe, and it should have only take a couple of swings to take that tree down. Instead, you got to swing it about 30 times and get it to fall because it's dull and rusty. And that's what it was doing for the older guys. But with that second deal, the mock game, the purpose for that is just to understand a true game-like setting. I mean, you oftentimes wonder why, hey, how come there's only 10 guys out there on the punt protection? You have to call a timeout, and, the coach is furious because he had to waste a timeout. Well, these are things that when you're in practice, you're really just standing in different places than you would actually be on game day. And it's just the whole format. I didn't want it to be strange or completely different to the players come game day, and just how you warm up. It's totally different than a practice warm up. How you run into the game off the sideline is totally different in a game than it is in practice. And if you don't practice those, why would you expect the players to be able to perform them? I mean, I don't know in any other capacity where people just do things without practicing them and showing up. So that's why you go through that entire exercise. We don't have play clocks and officials and all these different things. So as many of those things that we could create during the situation, so that when we have that home opener for sure at Ives Lamel, but even this weekend against Shorter, that they're used to all of the things that would take place during a game.
Home opener Saturday, September 11th, 1 p.m. versus Apprentice at Ives Lamel Family Field. The regular season opener this weekend, Saturday, September 4th, noon at Shorter in Rome, Georgia. Can you take our audience through between now, Monday night, 7:30 p.m. approximately, through kickoff at Shorter? What's the plan for the team preparation-wise from here on out?
Monday is an off day for the players, so no players had to participate in any athletic-related activities today. And then when we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is typically our bulk practices. So Tuesday's the heavy load day. In the afternoon, the players will get a scouting report, a formal official booklet with all the information about the opponent. And then after dinner in the evening, we get out on the turf and practice that evening. And that's a heavier practice. By heavier, we mean shoulder pads, thigh boards, knee pads, the helmet, the whole shooting match. And then we turn right back around on Wednesday and practice Wednesday afternoon on the turf. And then that evening after dinner, we'll watch the film from the two practices to evaluate what's happened, correct any errors, and then make sure that on Thursday, when we go with what we call a lighter practice, so we take some of the padding off and don't hit as much, that the players are mentally sharp. And that way we kind of have an idea of what we can keep in the game plan, what we should take out, what's been too much. At that point, you're not really installing anything new. It's too close to game time. So you go with what works and what looked great in practice. And then Friday, we hit the road. So we'll get on the bus on Friday around lunchtime and try to get through that Atlantic traffic and get to the west side of Atlanta as soon as we can. And we will have a walkthrough that afternoon, which is a final preparation. And once again, that's just another a mental deal for the players to make sure that they're sharp and with it, stay in the hotel that Friday night, and then we crank it up early. Typically the games are at 1, so now this is an hour earlier for the guys. So make sure we do that bed check and that they're in there and sleeping and well rested for Saturday's kickoff.
Most of NATO Nation hasn't been privy to watching, practices and that kind of thing. So this will be their first look, whether it's in Rome, Georgia on Saturday, September the 4th, or the following week at Islamel Family Field at this season's version of the Tornadoes. Can you preview what this team is like and what NATO Nation can expect to see?
Well, one thing that has been wonderful about the program over the last few years is retaining players. So to have a large group of individuals that have been part of this team creating this culture has been a tremendous asset, and ultimately has led us to a 14-3 record over the past 17 games. I mean, that's really wise that we have a core. And now when we bring individuals from outside the program and we allow them to enter in, these guys know how to handle any newcomers and exactly what their role will be, how they fit in the program, what they can do to enhance what we already have. And we're at the point now where that's all we're looking for is players that can enhance the program. So our identity should be such where you'll know, hey, that's Brevard College football. So if you have seen it before, you'll know it. And you'll say, this is exactly what I expected out of this team. For those that don't know, you're going to see a defense that's been nationally ranked and in top of all sorts of categories over the last several years, guys flying around, making tackles, confusing offenses, and, really being a strength that carries us to victories. Now you're going to see an offense that guys have been in it. We have some guys that have been in it now 4 years, have a complete understanding of what it is that they do, what they're supposed to do, how to do it. And, I think that you'll be excited about some of the wrinkles that we're going to be putting in this year offensively. And then when it comes to special teams, that for me is the biggest game changer of all. It's the most important one because for many it gets looked over and doesn't get the attention that it deserves. So for me, it's the most important phase. And, with some of the specialists we have this year, we're really going to be able to do some incredible things in the special teams.
Coach, you mentioned special teams, and I'd be remiss without mentioning your special teams coach, Martin Bayless, who has had an exceptional opportunity this month of August with the Jacksonville Jaguars and is going to bring back all sorts of knowledge to the Brevard College Tornadoes after this experience. He was a Bill Walsh Diversity Fellowship recipient and had the opportunity to coach with Urban Meyer's staff with the NFL squad, the Jacksonville Jaguars, this past month. Can you tell us a little more about that story and just how exceptional Coach Martin Bayless is?
Right. And these are opportunities that are very few and far between. So it's very prestigious to be selected for an opportunity to even be part of the fellowship program. So, congratulations to Coach Bayless. And when he came to me and said that opportunity was presented to him, I was thrilled for him and couldn't wait for him to take part in it and just knew all the things that would be able to come from it. Now, thankfully, last season, he had an assistant, Jack Wellenhofer. And so Wellenhofer has been working under him now for almost a year. And so he was able to take over as the interim special teams coordinator this fall. And when you say for Martin Bayless to bring back, well, he has already brought back some things from Jacksonville because he's a part of everything that we're doing on a daily basis. So he and Coach Wellenhofer meet every day, whether that's a phone call or a Zoom, and also all the information gets sent through email. So he is already implementing some of the things that he has learned when it comes to pure X's and O's type things, but also some of the mentality. And then that's what we're looking for once he gets back is just a different approach, a different angle, just a little something here. I mean, what Coach Bayless brought to us last year that I thought was tremendous was his idea of a faceless opponent. so that no opponent was ever just too big for us. There was never a game that we just got so hyped up for that we didn't play our game because we were just so focused on the opponent and not the game itself and how we should play and do our thing. And there are going to be plenty of things like that he has already mentioned to me that he has in the works that will really do wonders for us and hopefully allow us to achieve even more victories this season.
Very good, Coach. Well, really appreciate you helping us kick off this season with this episode of Tornado Talk. Before I let you go, a message to NATO Nation on behalf of the football team, something you'd like to convey to all of our wonderful supporters out there?
All right. Well, first, I want to say thank you for everything that has been done in the past of any form of support, whether that means being in the stands, whether that's an email of congratulations, whether that's a phone call to a player to wish them luck before a game. It doesn't matter. Any form of support is invaluable. But as far as this year goes, I will say this, 71-17. Okay, that was a score differential in the 2 home games. And that was because of that fan support. Let's not forget our drum line, but everything that gets involved with a home game. And it is that energy, I promise you, the players draw so much from the vibe that it takes place at Islamel Family Field that's what propelled them to those type of victories. And the plan is to do the same this fall.
Very good. Head coach Bill Khayat. Coach, stick with us just a moment. We're going to bring in a couple of your student athletes here to join the program as we pass the baton to Toby Naylor and also Eli Carr. Coach, quick message to these two before we let you go.
All right. Well, Toby Naylor. All right. So once you hear his accent, you'll know he was not born and raised in the United States. So from where he comes, it's not typical for a kid to just grow up, be 4 years old, be playing football and, rounding guys up and doing this all the time. So for being a newcomer to the game compared to other guys, what an outstanding football player. He wants to be great and does everything he can to be an exceptional football player and has really taken over a leadership role. And he's an RA now on campus. I mean, he's very well respected. And I can't thank him enough for everything he's done to really rally that defense. The other gentleman in the square, Eli Carr, a lot has been said about him and his success and what he's done. And it seems like he's a crafty, cagey veteran quarterback. And really, Eli and I were talking earlier today and saying he's really only played 2 college football games. But with all the success that he's had at his position, you'd think he's been playing 2 or 3 years. So he truly is a quarterback in every sense of the word. And he as well has to take on a leadership role. It's something that's just innate by the position. So whether you want it or not, you have to do it. And when he talks, the team listens. And he's really able to get everything out of the other players because he demands the best from them.
Very good. Well, head coach Bill Khayat, best of luck this weekend at Shorter in Rome, Georgia. We'll be following every step of the way. Thanks for joining the show this evening.
I appreciate you having me, Phil.
All right, that's head football coach Bill Khayat as we're previewing this season opener this weekend at Shorter in Rome, Georgia. And as Coach Khayat helped us introduce these 2 guests, Toby Naylor, the junior linebacker from Southampton, England, majoring in exercise science, and Eli Carr, the sophomore quarterback from nearby Asheville, North Carolina, A.C. Reynolds High School, majoring in criminal justice. Toby, Eli, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having us, Phil.
Very good. Well, Toby, let's start with you on the defensive side of things. Can you talk about how this preseason has gone and how the Tornadoes are preparing ferociously for Shorter on Saturday?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this camp has been a lot of fun. I think the biggest part was all the guys who were like seniors last year. They chose to came back and use that 5th year. They came back. I think that was huge for us because they've come back and they've set the tempo from the get-go. And these are 5th year guys now. They're kind of showing everyone else how to practice, especially these freshmen. And we've all just stepped up a whole new level this year. We're all so determined. We all have that common goal to get some revenge this year. So I think that's been huge, is having those older guys back to kind of pave the way for everyone else.
And Eli, if you can talk about yourself and also the offense for you personally, your second season with the Tornadoes.
I think we look really good for this early in the season. I think soon, probably within this week, we'll start clicking on a different level and hopefully go down to Rome, Georgia, and get a dub, walk out, come back home, have fun. So I'm excited for that.
And Eli, what's it like to go up against this defense with guys like Toby Naylor and Jock Pledger and Dante Anderson on the other side of the line of scrimmage? It's got to be some intense preparation for you all offensively.
They're the best I face. They're the best I'm going to face, no doubt in my mind. I mean, Toby's my guy, you know what I'm saying? Dante's my guy. All those dudes are my guys. So I'm glad they're on my team, but they better me every single day. They better my O-line every single day and my receivers every single day. And that's their job, just like our job is to better them every single day. So I'm glad we all share a common goal of just getting better.
Yeah, and flipping the script, Toby, I'd imagine for you all on the defensive side in terms of that preparation to go up against quarterbacks like Eli Carr and just a fantastic receiving core and talented running backs, not to mention a stout offensive line, it has to make you all better as defenders.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of talent on that offensive side, and like Eli said, it's all for the common goal. And I love going against Eli, kind of talking a little trash as we go. But yeah, that's my guy. And I've seen him. He was originally obviously on the scout team, so I'd seen him quite a lot, and he earned his stripes and he earned his way to first team now. And it's great to see him progress as quickly as he has done. And yeah, he's gonna be great. So it's definitely a lot of fun.
Well, last year Eli was twice named the USA South Conference Football Offensive Rookie of the Week. Eli, you're from just up the road in Asheville, North Carolina. What's it like to play at a college so close to home?
It's nice. It's nice. I like my mountains, so I didn't really want to leave them. And of course, mom and dad can come up to the games and the family. I'm pretty sure that apprentice game, my mom and dad are bringing all their friends, and all my brothers are bringing some friends. So it should be really cool, just being so close, having the whole family be a support system. So.
Toby Naylor, D3Football.com, second team all-region selection last spring. A little different than Eli, while Eli's just up the road in Asheville, you're from across the pond in England. Can you tell us what this experience has been like for you to be in Brevard, North Carolina, but from England originally?
Yeah, this is really a dream come true for me. I've wanted to come out. I've always liked America as a kid. Like, I used to have an American themed room back when I was younger. So now living in this country is awesome, and I get to play like the sport I love. So I really am like living my dream right now. And since being here, I love the area. It's so beautiful. It's nothing like back home, like all the mountains and everything. It's really nice. And then the people I've met here, like I've made friends for a lifetime now. So I really appreciate being here and having this opportunity.
And Toby, we spoke to a couple of soccer players earlier in the program about the new athletics field house. There was a ceremonial ribbon cutting this past Friday. It's officially opened its doors. You guys have been settled into the football locker room for a little while. Can you tell folks who may not have had the chance to take a tour of that facility just how exceptional that space is for you all?
Yeah, I really like it. It's really nice. Obviously, we're all in there. We have our locker room, and it's really nice to hang out and be close to the practice field so we can easily go out there. All the coaches, our football coaches, have like all brand new offices. So, going to see them and watch film in their office is really nice. And we have like a classroom we can use for film and everything. So, yeah, it's all brand new, kind of state of the art. So it's really nice. And
Eli, I'd imagine from your perspective, has everything you would need?
Absolutely. We meet in there every day after practice with the quarterbacks and stuff. And I know the outside linebackers, they use the classroom like Toby was just saying. So it's very helpful having everything we need in one area.
Very good. Well, before we let you go, would like to go off the field for just a moment. Eli, majoring in criminal justice. I know you're still just getting started in your college career as a sophomore, but have you started to think ahead, postgraduate, what you may want to be doing?
I would like to be in the FBI. That's the end goal. I want to be a special agent. So.
Very good. Outstanding criminal justice program here at Brevard College, and also an outstanding exercise science program. And by the way, a laboratory and classroom for that exercise science program in that new field house. Toby, have you thought post-graduation what you may plan to do?
I'd love to be a strength and conditioning coordinator for like a football team. So kind of stay around football for, as long as I can. But I'm really interested in like the lifting side. So that's what I want to get into.
Very good. Well, always want to give student athletes the opportunity to give thank yous, shout outs, anybody who may have helped you along the way, whether they're watching this program or not. I want to give each of you that opportunity. Toby, we'll start with you. Thank yous or shout outs?
I always have to shout, my mom back home and my stepdad, Callum. They're kind of my biggest supporters, my biggest fans, and I love and appreciate them so much. I'd like to give a huge shout actually to my D-line. I think them boys, they were probably the biggest reason why I got second team all region. They do so much for me up front, eating blocks so I can make plays. So I'm really appreciative of guys like that and the outside linebackers. So guys like Whetstone, Langford, J.I., Kennedy, Bass, all of them. I'm so appreciative of them. And of course my boys on the back end of DB as well. So yeah.
Very good. Toby Naylor, the junior linebacker from Southampton, England. Thanks for joining the show, Toby. Best of luck this weekend. Eli Carr, same opportunity for you. Thank yous or shout outs?
I just want to thank my family, friends, as well as friends my age around the area, different colleges. They've all been very supportive in my journey. I'd like to thank my O-line, receivers, defense even. I really like to thank my defense because they're my brick wall. So that's always awesome. And of course, I couldn't do anything without the O-line, receivers, or running backs. So very thankful for all of them, as well as Coach Khayat and the other coaches.
Very good. Well said. That's Eli Carr, the sophomore quarterback from Asheville, North Carolina. And these two will be part of that squad that's heading to Rome, Georgia this weekend for the season opener at Shorter. Then NATO Nation, be sure to come on out Saturday, September 11th, 1 p.m. kickoff versus Apprentice, the home opener at Islamel Family Field. Gentlemen, thanks for joining the show. Best of luck this weekend with the opener.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Phil.
All right, Toby Naylor and Eli Carr, two of those football student athletes. Will send them to be able to continue their preparation for the season opener this weekend. And we're going to shift gears to men's soccer, who is coming off a championship spring 2021 and getting ready fast and furious for the start of this fall season. Joined now by head coach L. Dana. Coach Dana, thanks for joining the show. And also with us, associate head coach and reserves coach Juan Mascaro Jr. Coach Mascaro, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have the two of you on this show. And before we get started with previewing this upcoming season, want to reflect back one more time to the spring 2021 season back on April the 10th at Covenant in Lookout Mountain, Georgia, an thrilling 5-3 penalty kick shootout win over Covenant to take the first USA South Conference championship in school history. Just an outstanding performance. And those student athletes were rewarded with championship rings before this past weekend's exhibition game at Islamel Family Field. A big moment for those student athletes and well-deserved. Coach Dana, how did that feel to be able to hand out those rings to those student athletes?
It was wonderful. The whole experience for everybody, from the perspective of how good this conference is and how close each game was. I mean, the final itself was epic, right? I mean, back and forth and overtime and penalty kicks and playing with a man down. So the entire time dealing with the adversity of COVID and having kids quarantined during the season. So it was such an effort, and it took literally every player. So when you get at the end what you got, it makes it that much special.
And Coach Mascaro Jr., you've been around this program and this college for a long time. Had to be rewarding not only to get that win in the spring, but also the hardware this past Saturday.
Yeah, no, it was magical for sure. It was something really special that we achieved, and as an alum, it was a little bit. I guess it was a little bit, sentimental for me, just having grown up here and having played for the program and now coaching for the program. So yeah, it was something that I've never experienced before. So hopefully it won't be my last one.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling, the first of many, no doubt about it. Well, Following the ring ceremony, a 4-0 win over Southern Wesleyan in an exhibition. Goals by Wendell Lima, Esteban Berto, Sam O'Callaghan, and Ryan Sinkamba. Coach Dana, can you tell us a little bit about that effort? Maybe some of the things you saw that went well in particular on Saturday?
Yeah, this year we have such a deep team, so many players, and there's not one area of the field that we don't have 2-3 very qualified players, which is a good thing, but sometimes a problem. So these guys worked so hard in the preseason. They wanted to show, earn their space. But I thought they played well. Of course, there's always that little over eagerness and a little clumsiness in finishing certain plays. He settled more in the second half, but you got to be pleased. You put 4 goals in and you use 33 players during the match. And I didn't feel at any time when we were rotating players that the level dropped. So that's kudos to them, and also trouble for Junior and I, because we got to now figure it out.
And Junior, from your perspective, what were the things you saw that worked, and maybe the things you need to work on even further?
Yeah, no, I think it was a good first test. It was a good way to incorporate a lot of the new players into the existing squad. And now it's just about time, really. They just need a little bit more time, and thankfully we have this next game. We have a few games before we start conference play, where we can kind of really nail down that starting 11, and they just need time with each other, really. It's a young squad still. We have a lot of returners from last year who were pretty young. And then we've added a lot of quality. So like Coach said, we have a lot of depth, and we have options now. But now they just need some time to play together and kind of figure out and kind of just mesh together, really.
Home opener and regular season opener this Thursday at 7 p.m. versus Carolina University. Coach Dana, as far as the preparation goes, if you can bring us a little bit behind the curtain, what does the rest of the week look like between now and the match on Thursday?
Well, it's pretty typical when you're coming from preseason. You're doing 2-a-days. It's very hot. And even though players might show up in shape, it's not necessarily soccer shape. So now you're trying to, find a balance between keeping the momentum from preseason, but also healing them, So you take the foot off a little bit on certain days. But it's been working well. I mean, you're always going to have a couple of knocks and bruises because it's a contact sport, it's a collision sport, just like football, and it's part for the course. But all in all, we're healthy, we're motivated, we're together, and we're pretty excited.
While the varsity team opens at 7 p.m. on Thursday, at 4 p.m. on Thursday, the reserves team will take on Gardner Webb at Lamel Family Field. Coach Mascaro, you work really closely with that group. You are at the helm of the reserves program. Can you tell us a little bit about this year's squad?
Yeah, definitely a lot of new faces on the squad, a lot of talent and potential there. We just got to give them time and give them that opportunity to play games, which is really what that program is for. To get some, first year students or students that need to adjust or come back from injury or whatever the case may be, opportunity to play without kind of having that pressure to perform. So a good test against Gardner Webb. It'll be a tough test, but the boys have been working really hard in training, and they've absorbed a lot of new concepts for them, and they've been doing really well. So we'll go out there and we'll work really hard. Like I said, it'll be a really good test for them, especially for those that it'll be their first college game ever. So it'll be a good introduction to what it is and what it could potentially be in the future. Once they've moved off the reserves and hopefully into the first team for some of them.
Coach Dana, I see that you're in your office at the new athletics field house, and I believe Coach Mascaro Jr. is there as well. You guys came straight off the practice field into your offices. You've got meeting space there. You have a locker room as well. We ceremonially cut the ribbon to that beautiful building last Friday. I'd love to hear from each of you just how significant this is for your program and for that Brevard College student-athlete experience. Coach Dana, can you tell us even more about the Fieldhouse and just how impactful it is?
Oh, yeah. From the perspective of recruiting, a kid steps foot here and it's an easy sell. to day-to-day operations, to the well-being of our players. I don't want to repeat everything that Coach Khayat said. It's basically the same. I do want to publicly say what I have already done personally, which is to thank Juan Mascaro Sr., thank David Joyce, thank the Board of Trustees. I do not take for granted the effort that they put to put this thing together. Miranda Nash, it was a really, really, in a situation where schools are cutting costs. We built a multi-million-dollar facility, and it's still going, right? We're still adding things to it. So our kids, there's not one aspect of it that leaves the kids wanting more. So they're pretty well equipped.
Coach Junior?
Yeah, I mean, the facility is definitely a game changer. Definitely just enhances that overall student athletic experience, and it allows us to operate more effectively and efficient. And like Coach L said, we're really appreciative that we were able to finish this facility during the pandemic while other schools were struggling and cutting costs. So definitely very thankful that we have the new space and that we're able to give our student athletes an even better experience.
Very good. Well, Coach Eldana, Coach Juan Mascaro Jr., a lot of action for NATO Nation to see early in the season. Starts with that reserve season opener on Thursday versus Gardner Webb. That's at 4 p.m. And then the varsity team with their opener on Thursday at 7 p.m. Also Saturday, 4 p.m. at Ives Lamel Family Field, and matches on Tuesday, September the 7th, and Saturday, September 11th as well. 4 straight home games to start the season, Coach L. Kind of interesting how the schedule worked out that way.
It's interesting. You put a facility like this, now people want to come, right? So, and it's a little bit of a reward because we're now a strength of schedule kind of team, so people want to schedule us because they know it will help their strength of schedule. So everybody wins.
Very good. Coach Mascaro Jr., a final word from yourself as we head into the season?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. I'm very excited to see what both squads can do, and hopefully, we can repeat what we did last semester, and go on and hopefully get another championship. But we still got to play the games. There's still a long road, but the guys are really resilient, and they're a hardworking group, and definitely one of the most talented groups I've ever worked with. So definitely looking forward to see what the next weeks have in store for us.
And Coach Eldana, a lot of support for this men's soccer team. A final message for NATO Nation as we head into your opener?
Yeah, I mean, people that go not even the extra mile, it's the extra 10 miles for anything that we need. It's amazing. It's humbling, and it's all we can say is thank you. They know who they are. There's not one need that they don't meet. These are people that they don't need to do what they're doing, but for some reason they identify with our kids, which is not a hard thing to do. We do have a good bunch of guys. So from supporters to the administration to faculty, staff, trainers, I mean, there's so many people that make this thing go, and I'm not going to mention too many names I'm going to forget.
Very good. While we're waiting for our student athletes to get into place, I would like to just touch on one other subject with each of you, which is the highly international flavor of this team. And in fact, both of our student athlete guests tonight who we're getting into place come from different continents, one from South America, one from Europe. But it's just incredible to look down the roster and see the number of countries represented. I'd love to hear from each of you as far as, the dynamic that creates both on the field and off. And of all places, Brevard, North Carolina, the mountains of Western North Carolina, to have this sort of international presence, it's really something cool. Coach Dan, I'd love to hear from you on that subject first.
Yeah, it's kind of it comes with soccer. Soccer is by nature a very international sport. So what you see more often than not is kids grow up even in the U.S. whose dads either are immigrants or their grandparents, which is basically America. But there's that identity with people from all over the world, and the U.S. when it comes to collegiate sports is the place you want to be, so do the math, these kids want to come and they want to be what other place better than here, I consider North Carolina as good a place as any in the U.S. I've been here long enough that I've seen many places, and the settings here, this is a perfect college town. This is a beautiful place. The campus is beautiful. Every one of them, and I think we have about 15 countries this year represented. I've never had one that we didn't pick up at the airport, and as we're driving in, they would say, this is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen.
Yeah, but well said, Coach Al. Wales, Brazil, Ireland, Uruguay, Italy. We've got Zambia. We have Ecuador. The list just goes on and on. England. Coach Mascaro Jr., it's got to be a lot of fun to coach this kind of international dynamic.
Yeah, it's a really positive environment. And I think it just really enhances kind of that experience for those domestic players, so those local North and South Carolina student athletes that have decided to attend Brevard as well, because they get to experience different languages and different cultures and different ways of how to play soccer. So they're exposed to different ideas and different ways of thinking. So it just kind of enhances everybody's experience. And they're a really inclusive group, and it's really cool to just kind of hear the different languages spoken out on the field, really.
Well, in Junior, I know you're a pretty big soccer fan as well, as far as watching the international action. I'd imagine with that group and that sort of diversity amongst where everyone's from, there's all sorts of opinions and followings as far as these different teams. Can you give us a little behind the curtain snapshot on some of those rivalries that might be going on within the team?
Yeah, for sure. So the banter is always good, especially with the Brazilian boys. They're very passionate about their teams back home. So just now at training, I had a boy who one of our players was talking to me about Corinthians, one of their team. And we had another one of his teammates last year told me that Sao Paulo was a team to support in Brazil. And I know Coach L is a big Palmeiras fan. So apparently those teams are pretty big rivals. So when I told this other young man that I supported Sao Paulo instead of Corinthians, his jaw dropped and he was trying to convince me to switch over and whatnot. So the banter is really good, and they're a really passionate group. Really, they're big soccer fans as well as really talented players. So yeah, we always have something to talk about, and we're always talking about the games at the weekends that we missed because we had a game or whatnot. So it's a really fun environment to be in.
And Coach L, with today's television packages, you can catch this international soccer from all over the world, just at your fingertips. I'm sure you've seen it grow over time, and it's got to be fun to watch the student athletes follow their favorite teams.
Yeah, and in our locker room we have a Roku TV, and there's not a day that we come in and there's not French, English, Spanish, and all sorts of games going on, and the kids have their favorite teams from, it seems like, every country, and they get at it, they pick each other when they beat each other, and so it's fun, the bus ride is always a game on, so we don't ever get tired of it.
Very good. Well, Coach Eldana, Coach Juan Mascaro Jr., looks like we have our two student athletes in place, so we're going to invite them into the program now. As Igor da Silva and Inigo Satrustegui are joining the show now. Great to have these two student athletes on board. Coach L, can you tell NATO Nation just a little more about these two before we let you go?
Sure. Just sweaty guys coming from practice. It's funny. They're actually side-by-side players. They're center backs, and they have an incredible chemistry. Technically, they're both freshmen because last year was a COVID year, which is a scary thing. I mean, if anybody has ever watched this team and saw these two guys play, they don't play like freshmen. But Inigo is from Spain, and Igor is from Brazil. They're both the kind of center backs that they're physical enough, but also technical enough. They're good leaders on the field, and they're really complement each other pretty well. That's why our defense was pretty top notch last year. And they're two people of excellence. They're leaders, they're good students, they're people involved with the school, and I have no doubt that they represent the college pretty well every time they put the jersey on.
Well said. Coach Mascaro Jr., anything to add on these two?
Yeah, no, just like Coach said, they're great leaders on the field, very, very talented players. Very mature for being first year students last year. And now they're coming into their second year. We definitely have a really good foundation and really good defense with them. Especially as the goalkeeper coach, I feel very comfortable with them being in front of the goalkeeper because I know the net's going to be really well protected and the goalkeeper is going to be really well protected. So definitely looking forward to watching these guys play on Thursday and in the weeks to come.
Very good. Well, Coach L. Dana and Coach Juan Mascaro Jr., the leadership for the Brevard College men's soccer program. Thank you both for joining the show. We'll see you on Thursday night at Islamel Family Field.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See ya.
All right, there they go, the two coaches for the men's soccer program. So joined now by Igor da Silva, the sophomore defender from Americana, Brazil. Igor, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me, Phil.
And also Inigo Satrustegui, the sophomore from Madrid, Spain, also on the defensive side of things. Inigo, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having us, Phil.
Very good. Well, Igor, we will start with you. You had the scrimmage this past weekend, the exhibition game versus Southern Wesleyan. I know you all had to feel good getting back out there and being able to play an opponent rather than just practicing against yourself. How did you feel after the exhibition?
So we work out a lot in the preseason to get the ring again. So their team is way better than the last year, and then it was a hard game. It was not easy like the last season, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable with my team, with my teammates, with Inigo playing by my side, with the keepers, with everyone. Everyone is working hard to bring the ring again for our college.
And Inigo, on that defensive side of the ball, you were able to manage a shutout against Southern Wesleyan. Were you guys pleased with what you were able to accomplish in that exhibition?
I don't know. We just do our job. We just do what coach asks us to do, and then everything will come. If it's not working, we just keep trying, and we will have our result.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, before the game, Inigo, there was a special ceremony, where you were rewarded with the championship ring. Can you tell folks about the ring and, just what that felt like to be rewarded with the ring?
To be honest, I didn't thought it was going to be as special as it was. I don't know. Maybe it's because COVID last year, but I don't think last year we played with that amount of people in the stands. So it was I don't know, like payoff from all the work we did last year to everyone see how we get the ring in front of everyone, and also the new freshmen, the new people that came this year in the bench watching us. Hopefully we can achieve this again this year and do it again next year.
Same question for you, Igor. How did it feel to receive the ring?
That was fascinating. So that was the most beautiful ring that I've seen in my life. So works hard pays off. So
yeah.
I can go again to the playoffs and get the ring again. I hope when I got graduated, I got all 4 rings in my hands like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's motivation to just keep on getting more and more, no doubt. Well, Igor and Inigo, we were talking to your coaches a little bit about the international nature of the Tornadoes and, how so many of your teammates come from all different parts of the world. And Igor, I'd like to start with you. You're from Brazil,
yeah,
but you're a student here at Brevard College in North Carolina. Can you talk about that journey from Brazil to North Carolina and how it feels to be a student athlete here?
So here, sometimes I'm feeling like I'm in Brazil because there's a lot of Brazilians here, that. So at the CAF, and I think Inigo feels the same when he see a lot of Brazilians together speaking Portuguese, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty well here. I love the area. I love the mountains. So I love it.
Very good. And same question for you, Inigo. As far as coming all the way from Spain, how has it been, that experience for you?
Pretty good. Is what Igor says. Sometimes we're playing on the field that it looks like you're playing in Brazil because you just listen guys talking in Portuguese. But yeah, I'm from Spain, and sometimes I can guess what they said, but pretty good.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question. Can you pick up some of the Portuguese, even though Spanish is your first language?
Some things, if not, I guess. But yeah, I cannot.
Very good. Now, Inigo, majoring in business and organizational leadership. Have you thought a little bit what you will want to do with your degree?
I don't know if in 5 or 10 years, but what I would like to do is get some experience once I graduate, and then if I can have my own company. But I don't know if in the next 5 years, in the next 10, in the next 15. That's my idea. I don't know in what period of time.
And Igor, also a business and organizational leadership major. Have you thought a little bit about your future ideas?
So yeah, it's the same way than Inigo. I'm hoping that I can get graduate and then I can start my own company here or at Brazil, or can be in both countries. So I hope that I can achieve it.
We spoke a little bit about with your coaches about the different teams professionally that members of the Tornadoes cheer for. When on a Saturday when there's soccer going on all over the world. Igor, do you have a favorite team as far as the worldwide soccer goes?
Yeah, this is the most famous team in Brazil, the Santos.
No doubt. And I'm sure you get to see them sometimes and get to brag about them, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Inigo, same question for you. Do you have a favorite team, whether it's back in Spain or somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm a Real Madrid supporter.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm sure it makes for a lot of great conversations in that new locker room in the field house. And we'll for your final question, we'll close with that. We ceremonially cut the ribbon of the new field house. Igor, in case there's young soccer players watching this program and wondering what that locker room and what that field house is like, does it give you all everything you need as soccer players?
Yeah, so I think for college players is the best place to be here. So we got all supporting for the coaching staff, and the field house is beautiful, it's clean, and everything is perfect.
Inigo, a good locker room for players to have functionality with?
Yeah, it is a good locker room. I wasn't here, so my first locker room here was this new one, but I saw the older one the year before I got here because I came to visit the college. It wasn't bad, but the new one is way better. So we have the new place that we got here last year that we can enjoy.
Very good. Before I let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to say thank you or give a shout out to anyone who may have supported you along the way. Igor da Silva, the sophomore from Brazil, any shout outs or thank yous?
Yeah, so thank you for everyone at Brevard College to support me, to help me, and also for my friends in Brazil. One of them is watching me now, for my wife, for who is called Derry, for Alessandra and Talita, who works here as well, for all Brazilians on the team, for all my teammates. Thank you so much.
Well said, Igor da Silva. Inigo Satrustegui, same opportunity. Shout outs or thank yous?
Thank you to my coaches. Thank you for all the Brevard community, to my teammates, my parents back home, my friends back home, everyone that is watching this right now. Just thank you.
Very good. Inigo Satrustegui and Igor da Silva from the Brevard College men's soccer team. This squad was selected as the preseason favorites for the West Division in the USA South coaches poll. They will get things started this Thursday at 7 p.m. at Islamel Family Field versus Carolina University. And then on Saturday, the Tornadoes will take on Methodist. Want to thank all of our guests tonight. Head women's soccer coach Juan Mascaro, women's soccer student athletes Alyssa Hetherington and Abbie Worsencroft, head football coach Bill Khayat, football student athletes Eli Carr and Toby Naylor, head men's soccer coach El Dana, and associate head coach Juan Mascaro Jr., men's soccer student athletes who are on our screen right now, Inigo Satrustegui and Igor De Silva. Want to thank our sponsors, Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, eGolf, Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingalls, Jets Pizza, Pepsi, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. All sorts of action this weekend as we start the 2021 fall season. We've got the reserves men's soccer team versus Gardner Webb at Islamel Family Field. That's at 4 p.m. on Thursday. Volleyball opens at 6 p.m. on Thursday versus Emory and Henry at the Bosch. 7 p.m. Thursday, men's soccer versus Carolina University at Islamel Family Field. So come on out Thursday night, all sorts of action on campus. The women's soccer team will be in Emory, Virginia. Friday, volleyball hits the road to Atlanta, Georgia, where they will participate in the Emory Classic. That continues Saturday. Also, Friday night, cross country is in Greenville, South Carolina. Saturday, mountain biking at Ride Canuga in Hendersonville. And then football with its season opener at Shorter University in Rome, Georgia at noon. 1 p.m. on Saturday, men's and women's tennis will host Johnson University of Tennessee at the McCoy Tennis Complex. Men's soccer on Saturday at 4 p.m. versus Methodist at Islamel Family Field, followed by the women's soccer home opener versus Carolina University at Islamel Family Field. That's a 6:30 p.m. kickoff Saturday night. And then Sunday, want to tell you about mountain biking. Brevard College will host a mountain bike race for the first time in a long time. We'll have a special broadcast of the action beginning at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, or you can come on out. It's on Savannah Hill, which is the hill right next to Gil Cone Field, the baseball field. So come on out, check it out in person, or tune into the special broadcast starting at 10 a.m. 6 Brevard College cycling student athletes went to the World Championships in Italy this past week for mountain bikes. And most of those athletes will be back for this event to go along with the entire Tornado mountain biking squad, 10-time national champions, that Brevard College cycling program. So I hope you can join us on Sunday. Well, I want to thank everybody who made this special edition of Tornado Talk happen, and want to thank you, NATO Nation, for your continued support. And one final personal note, just want to wish my daughter Clara a happy 16th birthday today. Happy birthday, Clara. Well, thank you for joining another edition of Brevard College Tornado Athletics Tornado Talk. We'll see you soon. Go Tornadoes.